Hi guys, and welcome back to the Blues Focus channel for yet another match preview. This time we are previewing today's game against Swansea, actually. So big game, big game, big game for both teams, really. So both sides won't want to leave without 3 points, that's for sure, because a draw doesn't really help anybody. Blues would probably be more beneficial with a draw against another top six side. So picking up points against another top six side would be great after a heavy defeat against Watford, but a good performance. But we'll see. We'll see. Let's get straight into things. So what to expect from Swansea? Um, Good defensively, very tough to break down. Um, they like to play five at the back primarily. They like to utilise wing backs and be a very strong defensive unit. They're not the most goal scoring side in the league. So yeah, they're definitely not a goal scoring side. Swansea. They are. They take their chances when they come. They don't really have any natural strikers either. They tend to play wingers like Andre Ayew or Jamal Lowe up front. But it has seemed to work for them, particularly with Andre Ayew. Huge player for them. We'll talk a bit more about him later. So yeah, definitely a very defensive style and take their chances and be clinical where they can be. However, they have been in a bit of a tough run of form, but we'll cover that shortly. What to expect from Blues? I think more of the same. I think the shape probably won't change. I think we'll stick with 4-4-2. However, there might be a bit of squad rotation with any players who perform well in the under 23s game the other day, because obviously Lebo, you had quite a few first teamers put into that under 23s game, so that's always interesting. And there are obviously a few injuries that we'll cover shortly as well. Nothing too major though. So no, probably more of the same from Blues, attacking front foot football, but in a 4-4-2 style. So we'll definitely look to utilise the wings as always, get balls into the box for players like Juki. And if we can get any balls in behind for pacey players like if it was Liko or Hogan up front, then I'm sure we'll try and do that for sure. So how could the game play out? I think Swansea I think Swansea will look to bounce back and go for a proper reaction since their defeat to Cardiff. However, I think a rough and kind of in your face style to bounce back isn't really Swansea's game. They are much more of a counter attacking side and clinical when they do so, but they haven't been that recently. They're much more defensive and they've just struggled. And that's down to injuries, really, to be honest. So definitely a very defensive side to expect. Um, yeah, I think I wouldn't expect an aggressive approach from Swansea. I'd expect an aggressive approach from Blues. I think we'll try and get in their faces early and try and get a goal early and look to build on that. And I do really think we could take advantage of this poor form Swansea side right now. So we'll see how it pans out, but I've got high hopes that Blues will be very aggressive and really look to take the game to them, get those balls in the box to Juki, and maybe play through the centre through Gardner and Harper to try and play anyone who's up front, whether it's Hogan or Liko or somebody like that. But we'll see. However, we have always seen that Blues have their vulnerabilities at the back. So if Swansea are clinical on their day, they could rip us to shreds. But we have been more solid under Lebo. Yeah, that has to be said. So who knows, really? Who knows? So form and injuries. Obviously, Blues last two games, first two games under Bowyer. We won the first game under Bowyer against Reading 2-1. Um, great result at home and a proper Blues performance. And then we lost valiantly, I'd say, against Watford away 3-0. Never expected to come away with anything from that game, really, but we gave it a proper good go. It was it was better than some of our wins earlier on in the season, to be honest. We played so well. We were just unfortunate, and Watford showed their quality, and they will go up this season. I'd be surprised if they didn't. And whereas Swansea, obviously they lost one of their biggest games of the season in their last match against their huge local rivals, Cardiff. Um, so, it's never nice when you lose a derby game. So I think that's why Swansea may have a bit more fire in their belly than usual. However, coming on to injuries, Swansea are injury ridden. Nothing extremely major, but we could see a few key Swansea faces left out of their starting lineup today, hopefully. So players such as Andre Ayew, who is a massive. It'd be huge for Blues if Andre Ayew can't play. Um, who else? Conor Hourihane, another one who probably wants to score against Blues, so it's best if he doesn't play, being his parent club, being Aston Villa. Um, Other players like Mark Gahey, I believe that's how you say it, probably been their best central defender all season. So to lose a player like that again is huge. Um, so there's some real kind of big positives for Blues to take from here. However, you never know. You can't predict that they won't start, but they are doubts for the game. So good news for Blues, really. Then you look at our injuries. We've got two minor injuries to Hogan and Sanchez. Sanchez probably won't play because he didn't train, but has had injections. Hogan has also had injections, but has trained. So Hogan could still feature, and I reckon he may, whether that's in the starting lineup or off the bench. But I think Sanchez might be on the bench, but more than likely is going to miss the game, which is obviously not great for Blues. Being a key figure in the squad this season. However, Bella and Halilovic have been on fire on the wings recently, so at least we've got fantastic and quality replacements in there. So it's not too heavy a loss. So just before we wrap things up, then, as usual, predictions. What are my predictions for this game? I've said this a few times now. My head is saying 1-1 draw, which I think would be an okay result for Blues, but really we want the 3 points. And my heart is really saying 3-1 Blues, and I think it could be an accomplished performance. Um, but I do think this one has the feel of the reverse fixture where it finished 0-0, but I do think there could be a couple more goals. So a 1-1 draw is probably the logical option. That's going to be my prediction that I go with. So yeah, 1-1 draw, but we can all hope for a more accomplished Blues performance and a massive 3 points if we can bag them. Definitely not out of the realms of impossibility, but there we go. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining me yet again for another match preview. It's been great as always. And yeah, leave your comments down below. Check out the Patreon and all of our other links. And I'll see you in the next one. Keep right on.